This video, I think, actually has the potential to save lives, okay? There we go. I said it. I know it's a little extreme. I know it's insane. They're going to call me crazy. I think it does, okay? A lot of the videos I make, they're just kind of for fun, enjoy, have a good time, see a few cars. This one's important, okay? So you can click off. You can go watch Teletubbies or Mr. Beast or some random commentary video about one streamer beefing with another, some BS like that. Or you can watch this life-changing video. Now, I'm not here to call out any other YouTubers. As I said, I've made a lot of BS before too. All I'm saying is that if you have 10 minutes to spend on a video, I would recommend it be this one. We are looking over 5 dashcam clips, just 5, that I found from this compilation, Insane Car Crashes compilation, Best of USA and Canada Accidents, part 51. And I picked out 5 specific clips that are the most common crashes to happen. That if you avoid these scenarios, if you actively look and watch out for these scenarios, after you watch this video, you'll have an idea of what they are. You won't crash. You will not crash. You'll never crash again. You won't have to worry. Driving will be safe. Let's get into it. Clip number 1. Okay, the cam car is going down. It turns yellow. And bang. That's clip number 1. Let's break down what happened there. That's the whole clip. Let me show you what happened. We start with a yellow light right around here. Now, could the truck have stopped? Potentially. The truck could have potentially stopped. But down here, I don't know if you can see it, he's going 52 miles per hour. It's about 85 kilometers per hour. That's pretty fast. And honestly, this distance here, it might look like a decent amount from the cam car's perspective. It's not that much. So he keeps going. He says, I'm going to run it, which, to be honest, you can say, watching behind your screen, that you wouldn't have ran this light. I probably would have, to be honest. But then what the silver, I think, Highlander does is one of the worst, if not the worst. I'm putting this at the start of the video because it's probably the worst thing you can do on the road. And that's what we call forcing a left. When you are waiting in an intersection to make a left turn, the last thing you want to do is force it prematurely. What do I mean? When you are this Highlander here, you have to make darn sure that everybody, all the oncoming traffic, this truck included, or this cam car, I don't know if it's a truck, has come to a dead stop and is not going to run it. Because then what happens is, this is the best case scenario. It looks like just a bit of a fender. Okay, that looks pretty bad, to be honest. But what happens is you get usually a T-bone, right? So usually, I don't want to keep calling this cam car truck. The cam car comes and could easily just hit the Highlander right here, cause a T-bone, kill some people. So what you have to do if you're the Highlander is just wait, okay? When you are the first car waiting in an intersection to make a left turn, you should sit right here. Don't even begin to make your turn until you are 110% sure everyone has stopped, okay? Even if it turns red, even if these guys have a green, if you are not sure that the cars oncoming have stopped, don't go, okay? Do not go. Wait your turn and then go. And you're saying, what if a oncoming car, what if this cam car was to run a full-on red, okay? That's the cam car's fault. A cop would see this and not fault you for turning left on the red. They would actually applaud you for making a good left turn, okay? And if there's someone behind you in the intersection also waiting to turn left, that is their fault, okay? They're actually not allowed to do that. You're only allowed to creep into the intersection to make this kind of left turn on a yellow if you are the first car. That is it. If you're the second car, stay behind the left turn line back here. And what can you do as the cam car in this situation to make it better? If you simply just predict, literally every time you approach an intersection like this, think to yourself that this Highlander here is probably just going to do the stupidest thing possible and make this left turn, and act accordingly. Just assume. It's hard to do it when you're in the moment, but assume this is going to happen. Be super mindful of something like this happening. And if it is safe to do so, if it is safe to make this stop on a yellow when you see a car waiting to turn left, always do it, okay? If you avoid this, you will save yourself. This is the most dangerous situation in driving, period. All right, for my next clip, I'm actually refilming this because my face was over here, as you saw, and for some reason, their front camera is placed in the top right. Beats me. I don't know why they do that. But anyways, super important clip. Let's get it. All right, so it's a left turn on a 2-lane street. Again, just like the left turn in intersection, left turn on a 2-way street. Very, very bad, dangerous turns. Could be so many blind spots on either side. You got to pretty much play crossy road. It's a dangerous turn, so be extra careful with these. Goes to make the left turn, and then stops in the median, right? Lets this oncoming car go, and then the Buick crashes in the rear. We'll play that again. Stops in the median to let this car go, which by itself isn't ideal, and probably illegal in this area. This is not a valid place to stop. But in an emergency, if the cam car didn't see this black car here, it can work, but then stays stopped for a while. And then the Buick probably checks both sides and sees, now this black car has passed. The Buick's like, okay, safe to go. It's probably actively checking both ways, and then bam, hits the cam car in the rear. Now, who's at fault here? I would say, because this is an illegal stop, yes, the Buick rear-ended and should have been seeing that ahead of time, but because this is an illegal stop, You could argue it leans one side or the other. I would put this at a 50-50. My nearest crash was actually something similar. Basically, I was going on a highway on-ramp, speeding up and shoulder checking to get into the lane, and then there's a Toyota Sienna that mid on-ramp just came to a dead stop for some reason, stopped within 2 inches of hitting the rear bumper. That's because this cam car, like that Toyota Sienna in my story, made a fatal flaw, which is stopping incredibly unpredictably in a semi or completely illegal spot. Yes, should the Buick have been paying attention to where they're headed? Yes, you should always be focused mainly on where your car is headed, okay? Even if you're trying to check both lanes, both sides of the road like this Buick was doing. But unless I'm not familiar with the road rules of this area, this does not look like a proper or legal place to stop. And then especially you want to add on the fact that this cam car was stayed stopped even after this black truck had passed for some reason. Look, they're just stopped for a few seconds. Maybe they're waiting for this car on the left, if you can even see it. The Buick thinks it's safe to go and then smashes into the car in front of them. So the main reason I put in this clip is you have to not stop unpredictably. If you are stopping, make sure it's predictable as possible and check to make sure that drivers behind you understand that you are stopping, why you're stopping. Use your hazards if you have to. Do not stop unpredictably in a random spot like here. And then as the Buick, make sure you are always looking forward and watching out for people stopping unpredictably. Next up, we have more awful video quality. What is this on your windscreen? Anyways, it's all good. They're going, they make the turn. It's a 2-lane road. Keep this in mind. And gap here, comes out, boom, crash. Looks like everyone's okay. It wasn't that bad, but this is another super dangerous driving scenario. And I call this the 2-lane gap trap. Essentially, the semi-truck was nice and let a gap go for this Kia SUV here, probably thinking that they would not make this illegal left turn. This is a solid double yellow. You can't cross here and just hop in, right? Or maybe they're trying to hop into this lane and continue down this street. But the Kia did. Okay, we're going to ignore the fact, obviously this is an illegal left turn. We're going to ignore that, okay? Pretend even it's a legal left turn. What I'm about to say still applies. The Kia just saw this gap from the semi-truck, and it doesn't help that the semi-truck is massive, and just assumed that this is a gap that applies to both lanes. It does not. So then, in part due to this massive blind spot that the semi-truck creates, but mostly just due to carelessness of this Kia driver, they just send it thinking, okay, both lanes are going to be clear, and bam, crash. I think as the semi-truck driver, or, you know, your car here, it's okay to leave a gap for cars on a 2-lane road, okay? Don't be blocking these gaps because the Kia should have been safer, okay? And if you're the Kia, let's say you're trying to make a legal left turn here, or you're trying to get into this lane, what you should do is not commit to this turn at once. You should kind of stop. You should use this gap that the semi-truck is letting you have, stop right where we're paused here, and then have another look on both sides, and then you would have avoided this collision, okay? So if there is a gap, okay, on a 2-lane on each side road, clear the first gap, stop exactly here, look, and then clear the second gap. Don't do them both at once. This is an incredibly dangerous type of drive, and it creates a false sense of security for any car in this white car's position here, okay? Obviously, who's at fault? It's more than obviously the Kia. The cam car did nothing wrong. But if you're the cam car in this situation, what you can do is see this gap, predict it here, predict that this semi-truck is going to be a blind spot, and then drive extremely carefully, and maybe that would have prevented the crash. Again, the cam car didn't really do anything wrong, but that's just something that could have helped. If you avoid the 2-lane gap trap and do what I told you, this is another fantastic way to prevent crashes. Okay, our next clip here. It's a highway and a sudden slowdown, and then bam, crash. That's it. The guy skids out. He crashes because of the sudden slowdown he wasn't ready for, this Buick here. Now, quickly, obviously, the Buick is at fault. I mean, there's no one denying that. This is a completely normal thing to happen, the slowdown here. The Buick should have been prepared for that. The Buick was obviously, 1, going too fast, and 2, probably following the Subaru too closely. Now, the too fast thing is an issue if your following gap is increased based on how fast you're going, but I'm assuming the Buick did not have an adequate following gap for the speed they're going. Now, obviously, you know to leave good distance on highways, but I think people really underestimate how much distance you should leave. The Subaru is actually leaving a pretty adequate distance, and hence they were able to stop in time. They cut it a little close, but they still stopped pretty reasonably. And then this Buick comes here and crashes. On the highway, you should leave so much space in between you and the car in front of you that if a sudden complete stop was to happen, like happened here, you would be more than fine. Okay, that's how much gap you should leave on the highway. Pretty much everyone does not leave enough space. Okay, it's pretty simple here. Leave enough space, take highways incredibly seriously. And then something else you could have done if you're the Subaru, and this is a really good hack, it's not always clear if you're just tapping your brakes or if you're actually coming to a complete stop on a highway slowdown. So what you can do if you're the Subaru here is if you see a sudden slowdown and you're aware of that, throw on your hazards, and this will help the person behind you realize that there's a hazard ahead, aka a sudden slowdown. This is something nice the Subaru could have done, but honestly, there's not much you can change here. throw on the hazards here. Maybe could have helped prevent this, although I think the Buick just sucks at driving. And then, bam. Yeah, so that's how to avoid crash number 4. If you can just leave adequate gaps and watch out for sudden slowdowns, you will be fine. Last but not least, here we go. It's a no right turn on red. I think the timestamp is 10:35. Yeah, so he's legally allowed to make it here. He thinks he's safe to go because this blue Pontiac is turning right here. Goes, stops for the Nissan, then somehow goes and rolls the curb, and then I think almost or does make impact with the bus. Oh. Obviously, okay, I'm not here to just clown on the CRV driver. Like, that is such boring content. You should be like, look at this idiot. What I do want to do, though, is use this as a lesson. Right turn on reds, especially when it's super hectic, and the Civic probably shouldn't have make this turn here. You have to be insanely careful, okay? I used to be the type of guy that's like, if there's a right turn on red, just make it, okay? Like, don't hold everyone up. But now I've shifted more towards, if it's hectic like this and you're not sure it's safe to go, don't go, okay? Again, super negligent driving from the CRV, but if you aren't going on right turn on reds, you have to make extra sure you know exactly where the traffic is coming from. So if there's traffic coming from here, or in this case, if it's traffic coming from the perpendicular lane. Do I sound smart because I'm using big words? I feel like I do. Perpendicular lane, you know, like and then you're like, you know what I'm saying? You can see the video. You're not stupid. And then make sure that you have an adequate gap because you are coming from a stop and making a turn. And then go. I mean, obviously just horrific driving. And obviously the other thing I'll say is that the bus, I guess, obviously I'm not a bus driver. I don't know how the physics of buses works, but you could have seen this dumb driver here start to go and maybe braked a little sooner. Although, again, I'm not going to blame the bus at all. This is just super bad driving from the CRV. But again, play super defensively. This is just a general lesson as well. Play super defensive driving in the intersections, okay? Slow down if you have to. Do right on the speed limit. And watch for anybody making any sort of dumb move like the CRV here. And you'll be fine. Finally, for our bonus here, we have a bad weather driving clip. Just some hydroplaning over here. You can tell it's super bad, and then the car skids out and crashes. All I want to say here is you underestimate how bad it can get on the roads. These roads are not super flat. Water will pool up like it did over here. And I know personally multiple people, multiple guys my age that felt invincible. They were actually pretty good drivers, but then hydroplaned one day and totaled their car, okay? Thankfully, they're okay, but it could be worse than just totaling your car. There we go. There are the 5 accidents. That's all you need. If you avoid those 5 things, there's probably some niche things I didn't really include, but those are the 5 main ones I see. If you avoid those 5 types of accidents and be careful in those 5 types of scenarios, you will be great. You will be fine. You will never crash. I have confidence in you. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.